And when it becomes something that they expect to happen, that will kind of determine their response, time of response, and how they respond, which is what is playing out in all these communities. The Fulani terrorists will come in the middle of the night, cowards, in the middle of the night when women, children, families, aged, sick, and all that, they are all asleep, sleeping. Not warned or anything, right? No warning, no nothing. In the middle of the night, they will start setting people's homes ablaze. And as people are running out of their homes, like fire, they start shooting and killing them, macheting them and all that. So that will be the moment that those who manage to escape will just have to run into the bush. And throughout that time, there will be no single security agent in sight. Not a single one. So that's why I said they disarm you, right? And you should know that. It's not as if to say people can just group themselves and go to the market and buy guns and say, okay, in the name of why is a vigilante group, community guards, we are buying 12 guns, we are buying 20 guns, we are defending our community. There is no chance. What would you use to defend yourself against the AK-47 wielding terrorist? Give me a guess. When the state intentionally leaves you, in the harm's way. So what you will know is that there is a bigger terrorist, or there are bigger terrorists. They are the ones who have failed to stop this violent, this armed, violent, known terrorist. That bigger terrorist is your government. The criminals who are profiting from this, why people are bleeding. It's happening in Enugu State again, where it never really stopped. Guess what? Their governor told everybody that there is no Fulani terrorist attack anywhere in Enugu State. So how do you want the people to get help when somebody responsible for helping them is denying them? Like this.
Because I have problem in Eha-Amufu. Problem I have in Eha-Amufu is the Fulani. Kambe aro anokita kandi Fulani bidori mekpanyono. Ayi bundi Eha-Amufu ndị ejiri wee mara. Ejiri me mara Eha-Amufu onye ọbụla na-abịa n'ala Igbo ga-ama ihe banyere ala Igbo bụ ihe Eha-Amufu. Anyị na-asa eke Eha-Amufu. Ndị ọbụla na-abịa eke Eha-Amufu bụ ka ha jee zụta nri n'Eha-Amufu. Ma taa ndị Eha-Amufu na-ejezi ebe ọzọ ka ha jee zụta nri. Ma because of ndị Fulani, anyị amara ebe ndị Fulani si wee bata n'obodo anyị. Bịazie jide ọbụna dị obodo anyị ebe obodo 17 wee chụpụ ndị mmadụ ebe anyị nwe ọbụna ọgbọnọ nwere ụkwụ, nwere ebe anyị na-akọ ugbo, nwere ebe anyị nwere ụlọ akwụkwọ, nwere ebe anyị nwere ụlọ ọgwụ n'ime agụba anyị, ebe anyị bi lasere onwe anyị dị ka ndị nọ na be ha. All of a sudden ndị Fulani wee bata wee bido igbu ndị be anyị. Kemgbe ka anyị na-agwa unu na ha na-egbu. Ọtụtụ mgbe ha egbuo mmadụ 20, ọtụtụ mgbe ma ha egbuo 30, ọtụtụ mgbe ha ebere mmadụ ara, ọtụtụ mgbe ha ebere mmadụ enweghị ha Fulani na-emebeghị anyị. Anyị na-eti mkpu kemgbe na-agwa gọọmenti of Enugu State, gọọmenti of Nigeria, gọọmenti of East Local Government biko si nyere anyị aka maka na akwa anụwa ọ bụrụ na ya awachi ụmụ nwaanyị niile ọ n'ebe a ndị a bụ ndị o metụtara. O mere m ụzọ adịrọ na Eha-Amufu tata maka na ihe anyị mere na ụzọ adịrọ ọbụla ndị Eha-Amufu si ọ bụrụ na ha ka bụ ndị obodo a si mee ka ha mara na ha bụ ndị obodo a. Gọọmenti gee ha ntị. Ọ bụrụ na ha bụ ndị obodo a biko gọọmenti biko gee ha ntị ka e wee nwee ike napụta ha n'ọnọdụ a. Oge anụwa bụ oge ọrụ ugbo. Ndị a niile n'ebe a bụ ndị si n'ebe ha bi wee kwafu wee lọta na-abịa nọ n'ebe mmadụ agụ a na-egbu. Ndị be anyị ụmụ okorobịa anyị egburu egbu dị uncountable. Ndị nọ n'ụlọ mkpọrọ kịta bụ uncountable. Ọ bụrụ na nwere ka nwa okorobịa si megide Eha-Amufu ejide eje tinye na prison. Biko nụ gọọmenti of Enugu steeti, gọọmenti of Nigeria biko si nyere anyị aka na Eha-Amufu si biko anyị na-ayọ biko si nyere anyị aka. Abịakwa anyị na-akwara unu nyere unu obi. Kịta anyị ebidogo ọtụtụ mmadụ bụ ndị nwụrụ na-abụrụ ndị Fulani gburu mana ndị Fulani gburu ya. Ihe Fulani ji gbu ndị a bụ na ha natara ego na gọọmenti jee kọọ rice. Then ndị Fulani kpọrọ efi kpobe na ugbo rice ha wee taa ya. Onye ahụ cheche echiche ka ọ ga-esi ekwuo egwu gọọmenti ụgwọ ọ nọta na bank, onye ahụ nwụọ ọrụ onwe ya. Biko nụ lenu na enyi, lenu na Eha-Amufu, lenu na ndị
in Enugu State. Somebody said that they can defend themselves. I should stop discouraging them. I'm not discouraging them because, yeah, people would have to do what they have to do. But if you miss the part where I told you the known and existing systemic disarmament of the people for this armed terrorists, then maybe you have not been listening. There are people capable of defending themselves if they are allowed to defend themselves. How many people are currently languishing in the military detention, police detentions across Nigeria, especially southern part of Nigeria, and especially in the eastern part of Nigeria, people who have been languishing in prison simply because they muted the idea of self-defense. Then they pursued that idea, right? To go after these terrorists, defend yourself and all of that. And who are those who came for them and where are they now? So this is when you understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying people can defend themselves, but ask people who have been disappeared, like people who have been made to disappear, simply because they knew that in this community, at least there's a social person here, there's another person there, they have guns. Except if you have not really been following these developments, this issue of terrorism and their collaborators. The insiders that sells the information about the military movement to terrorists that will then ambush them and slaughter them. Then they will kind of hide it, not just from the Nigerians, even from the families of these soldiers. You see all these conspiracy things inside, right? There are evidences, not evidence, evidences. So you understand that before the terrorists, especially the Fulani terrorists, before they strike anywhere, that they survey communities several times. And that in itself, right, if you are not convinced the collusion of the authorities in Nigeria, when I say authorities, I mean your compromised security system, okay? The ones that aid and abet these terrorists because they support whatever their agenda is. Totally. Not to Nigeria. Right? So if you're not convinced, right? There is, in fact, there is actually this broadcast from or by this guy, Caleb Muftang, is the governor of Plateau State. He referenced, right? He referenced the agenda of a thing as well, where he categorically said his own states and land won't be captured by who? By the Fulani terrorists, properly armed, well-funded. It seems to be like, even if you don't want to believe it, but when you look at the way they move, right? And the way Nigerian security moves, whenever there is something that publicly affects them and their image or something, and they want to arrest such situation, the way they move, and then the way they move when it comes to this terrorist. So that should possibly tells you something too, right? Now let's go to Plateau State. So when people when people won't be allowed to defend themselves, so they become disabled, even though they look able. So those of you who are in far away places, you don't live in those communities, or you have never been caught in such a situation. I mean, some of you who are typing this right now, you probably are far away from places like Eha-Amufu, or this part of Oturkpo, local government in Benue State, or even Bassa local government area in Plateau State, or Bokkos in Plateau State. You were never in that situation, whereby you probably must know that this is not the first attack in, especially in Benue, in Oturkpo, in Bassa, Bokkos, in Plateau State. These are not the first time. Probably this is not even like the 10th time they've been attacked that way. But because they already have what is called the systemic disarmament, they want that whenever the terrorists were operating, right, there will be no security agents. Sometimes these terrorists will operate for 2 days. I'm talking about displaced people for 2 days. There will be no response. All calls, right, to get the help of the security, boom. There, when the terrorists are done, just few hours when the terrorists are done, and the people are beginning to kind of like, those who have scattered away are beginning to come together, putting together strategy to go after these terrorists. That will be the moment that the police will come, military will come, and their agenda is to calm everybody down. So if they see any of you who becomes unnecessarily agitated, and you become, no, they have killed my family, you'll be arrested, and they may never see you again for a very long time. True story. There are real victims. So you must actually factor that into your suggestion of people can defend themselves, or people should defend themselves. I didn't say they can't. But when you have a systemic disarmament, right? Something that is like a collection of collusions. Like I said, people who are supposed to keep you safe have become so compromised. The institutions that are supposed to now protect you are now protecting the terrorist, jailing the activist. This is the life of the people. This is somewhere in Benin City, I mean, in Edo State.
See cow, they go small. Oh boy, see cow, this is Sapler Road here. See cow. Cow is Sapler Road. Jesus Christ, look at that. They block the street. Look at cow. See cow. Jesus, see cow. See enough cow. This is Sapler Road for you. 1 o'clock in the morning. See cow. See enough cow. Wow. Look at them.
And in the southern part of Nigeria, it is criminal to move your cows like that. Open grazing or open movement of cows is illegal. Towards the end of the time of Bokkos, all these Fulani and cows suddenly disappeared. Probably some of them sold their cows to buy guns and became kidnappers who were flaunting money on social media. But now, the videos of cows back in the cities, communities and the farms and all of that, they are now surfacing again. Yeah, you should probably probe them so that, like a Satan of Chokoto said, it won't be just like old videos that people are recycling. No, there are new videos now popping up. So them in Plateau States, right? They believe there is an agenda. And in fact, they believe the agenda is religious. That's their governor, and that is the person responsible, should be responsible. But the way the whole thing is structured again, right? It will end up as it is, that is just a stooge of the system himself if he wants to continue to enjoy whatever, the privileges of being one of them. And he has to say something to his own people, in which I have a broadcast that broadcast a sort of shared with the people of Plateau State, talking about all of this, and they swore that they won't capture Plateau State. Ooh.
People of Plateau State, I speak to you today not only as your governor, but as a fellow son of Plateau who shares in your anguish and feels the weight of the pain inflicted on our people. We're once again confronted by sorrow as heart-wrenching attacks have taken the lives of innocent citizens in our communities. In the late hours of Sunday, April 13th, the calm of Kimakpa area of Kwal district in Bassa local government area was shattered by violent assaults on Zike village. Innocent men, women, and children were murdered in cold blood. Homes were touched, properties ravaged, and entire families left in agony. These attacks occurred even as we were still mourning the loss of over 50 lives in Bokkos. The scale, the frequency, and intent of these atrocities are unmistakable. Let us be clear. This is not random violence. This is not an isolated conflict between farmers and herders. What we are witnessing is a systematic and premeditated campaign, one that seeks to displace, destabilize, and instill terror and fear on our people and communities. The tragic echoes of Dogonahawa, Riom, Barkiladi, Mangu, and the Christmas Eve massacres in Bokkos remain vivid. The cycle continues, but it must not endure. Enough is enough. As your governor, I stand resolved. Plateau shall not be overrun by fear, nor shall we accept this culture of bloodshed as the new normal. My administration is intensifying efforts to protect our people and enforce the rule of law across all local governments. Only days ago, I visited Hurti, Mbar, Mangbuna, and Dafo to witness firsthand the devastation left behind by the terrorists. I had earlier stopped at Rui, where mourners were brazenly attacked at the wake. What I saw moved me profoundly. The suffering of displaced families, now crammed into churches and temporary shelters, their lives uprooted overnight. But let me reassure you, my government is alive to its constitutional responsibility of protecting lives and property, and we are rising to the occasion more determined than ever. For too long, our beloved state has made the headlines for the wrong reasons, thereby casting a shadow over our immense potential and deterring the inflow of much-needed foreign direct and local investments. These investments could have been the catalyst for harnessing our abundant natural resources and lifting our people out of poverty. We cannot afford to let this unfortunate reality persist. Despite this sorrow, the strength and courage of our people continue to inspire me. I extend my appreciation to the national and state management agencies for their prompt response in providing emergency aid and comfort to survivors. Following these developments, I convened an emergency State Security Council meeting and have been in active consultation with federal security leadership, including the President, the Chief of Defense Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and the National Security Advisor. I'm grateful to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for his concern and support, and for instructing security agencies to take decisive steps to apprehend the perpetrators of these attacks. Security deployments are being reinforced, and Operation Rainbow is being restructured to support community stabilization efforts. Additionally, all hospitals in the region have been directed to provide free medical treatment to victims, and relief supplies are already being dispatched to affected communities. To restore calm and strengthen vigilance, I hereby announce the following measures effective Wednesday, April 16th. Night grazing of cattle is strictly prohibited. Transportation of cattle by vehicle is banned after 7 p.m. The use of motorcycles is restricted from 7 p.m. to 6 a.m. across the state until further notice. We're also activating community-based response systems. I urge the traditional leaders and youth associations to reactivate local vigilante groups and organize night patrols in coordination with the security agencies. We must protect our communities while upholding the rule of law. Furthermore, I have mandated the newly inaugurated Interreligious Council to begin immediate engagement with all stakeholders to address the deeper issues surrounding these attacks. I shall also be appointing a special envoy on peace to lead grassroots consultations and intelligence coordination. A fact-finding committee comprising respected independent voices